R&B money. We up. Tank, J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
Ooh, and this is the R&B Money Podcast. The authority on all things R&B. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
Is it in your soul?
Yeah. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Huh? Is you multi-talented?
Man, come on.
Can you write it? Can you sing it?
Yeah.
Can you act it?
Is it jazzy?
Is it
It better be.
Can we tap into the Renaissance?
Yeah. Does it make you rise?
Does it make you rise? Ladies and gentlemen in the building, Andra Gay. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Oh, man, you're like so cool.
Oh, you're
like
cool.
your energy is like, it's like the best energy in terms of how you make people feel welcome, how you make people feel like you care, how you make it's just, like certain people have that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like this nurturing kind of instinctive, like you're not, it's just you. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
like even your essence when you walk by and you smell, it's like, I want to hang out at her house.
Yes, it does smell good.
No.
The candle game is crazy.
I'm like, what is that? What is that essence where I just kind of want to, hang out at her house?
Right.
You know? I feel like it's some beads at your house.
Definitely beads.
Hanging from the
beads.
hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a felt, there's a jaguar somewhere on
There's
the.
definitely the Palo Santo and the candles, and you know what I'm saying?
It's just for me, like that's how I was raised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those things like kind of just define my childhood, from it being my grandmother, my great grandmother, my mother, my cousin, my uncle, my great, all in one house.
Yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that energy and that love and that spirituality, and you carry that with you everywhere.
Thank you. Listen.
No matter what you got on. You got on jeans right now. You got it's the whole.
I also have a broken nail. I would like to start this whole thing by just admitting it so I don't have to hide my hands.
Okay.
I was thinking about doing a whole podcast like this.
See?
No. I was going to do like this. I was like, because the thing is that, you know what I mean? Or just to hit you with a
You
you
been
know
out
what I
here
mean?
hooping?
No.
No? Okay.
No, actually I did, bro. That's so random you say that. I was literally with Rance the other day, and I'm terrible. I'm trash. He was like, "You play?" I was like, "No, I was a ballerina." But you know what I mean?
Really?
I'll drop a little 3. You know what I mean?
I'll drop a little
ballerina that will drop a little 3.
Listen, the terminology lets you further know that that's not really her thing. Yeah, I'll drop a little 3-point shot on you.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Touchdown.
Boom.
Boom.
So no playing ball. They betrayed me today, so this is where we at.
So you said you're a ballerina?
I was, yeah. I danced for like 22 years.
I danced for 22 years.
That's how talented people talk.
I didn't.
No.
When it's just, that's how talented people talk. Oh, it's a mere stint in my life. For a mere 22 years,
I dabbled.
I dabbled.
For a fortnight. I don't understand none of that shit.
Right? You use it right, though. A fortnight is crazy.
For a fortnight, I dabbled
In the arts.
in the arts. London, England, they know who I am. Okay. Fortnite took me out. Almost didn't make it back. Do you use it? Do you?
You know, I haven't for a while, but I actually did decide on this album cycle, I do want to incorporate dance more. I miss it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like exercise regular for me. I enjoy it, but dancing is it's still a passion of mine, for sure.
I would love
I'm definitely
to see you on stage doing that. Like, I would love to see a performance with that incorporated. Like, I always like my daughter, she modern. She took tap.
Oh, me. Yeah. So all of that. Yep.
All of that, from Harlem School of the Arts, professional performer, like all of that. She has all of that. I'm like, we have to use all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like seeing Pink on stage, doing all of the Cirque du Soleil stuff.
Yeah. Nah, that shit was crazy.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's interesting too, because I think we're kind of taught, especially in music, it's like you have to do it a certain way. But I also feel like now is like the Wild West. You know what I mean? I look at even this album and like all the art and the stuff surrounding it, the activations. I look at it as like installations, right? Art installations. So I'm like, yeah, of course you can incorporate dance, and it doesn't just have to look like this and be a routine with, you know, certain costumes. It can be more interpretive. It can like play with the music a little more. So I agree. I think using everything is actually a lot more engaging and interesting I like stuff like that. So I want to like give that to people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna need you to do.
okay, choreograph it. You go ahead. Tell me.
No, you
What is it?
you do not want me to choreograph.
No.
Because it.
No.
Absolutely not.
Jay, just
Okay, right.
Just come on, this shit, man.
Let me. I was going to say no too. You don't have to say no that fast.
I was gonna say no too.
You
Just
know,
let me
my
get
big
to it.
toe
Right?
is strong, nigga. I can do this. Like, no, bro, stop.
You see your energy in your big toe.
I would love
right.
to. I would love for you to dance in a piece.
Yes.
For me.
Yes, I definitely plan on doing that. Yeah. So you gonna
she
get
said
it?
yes.
That's a yes for sure. Yeah.
No,
and
he
you
said
heard it here.
For me.
Oh.
For me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I would do that. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
I think that would be crazy.
Okay, I'm
and I
down.
have just the thing.
Do you? Okay, all right.
It's so opposite, but it would be so dope.
Oh, I love that. I can see you visualizing it too. And we're
Oh,
sitting
I'm
here on
gone.
R&B Money, so I already know what's going to happen.
I'm gone, and I got your permission already on camera.
you
He got all
Yep,
the,
yeah,
listen,
exactly.
he has all the dance shit in his head.
Right.
I can't.
He just can't
my,
get it off.
My body.
Right.
He too buff.
Yeah.
Nigga's too buff.
Yeah.
Not too, but you can't bring your elbows together?
Hell no. Hell no.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't
it's
know
very
either
big.
till
It's
just
very-
now. Can you?
I could definitely bring my elbows together. I'm not buff and I'm
Yeah.
pretty flat chested, so.
Okay.
It's very easy. All right.
Hey, stop, bro. Stop.
I didn't know I couldn't do it.
Your
Yeah,
shirt's
it's a
gonna
Can
rip.
you do it?
That's crazy.
These niggas be juicing.
I do feel bad, right? They be
These niggas be juicing.
Right. Exactly.
There's no drug testing in R&B music. Okay, there are no rules keeping me from trying to stay young.
There you go.
Let's do this. Let's go back to the beginning. That's our thing.
Okay.
Let's
San
go back to
Diego.
the beginning. San Diego,
Southeast.
Southeast.
San Diego.
That sounds like
Yeah, listen.
it ain't sweet.
I've been to San Diego.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon is the homie.
I love it.
Mitchie Slick is the homie.
Sounds like
you
something
know
going on
Slick.
up there.
Yeah, you know Mitch, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm
Cool,
surprised
yeah.
you didn't come in green today.
No.
There's some shit that went over
There
there.
are a lot of
Yeah.
there are a lot of colors out there though, for sure. That's definitely yes.
So when did you discover, or when did someone discover, or just kind of identify that, you had something different?
I mean, I think actually when I was fairly young, I was like about 6 years old, I think. I started dancing when I was like 5, so that was first. But my parents discovering that I could sing, I was like 6 years old. I was just singing Whitney, I think. I was singing a Whitney song, and they told me they just remember me singing the song and being like, oh, she kind of sound like, you know what I'm saying? Like she's hitting the notes she's doing, you know what I mean? But my father actually has a really nice voice, and so does my mother. But my mom's too shy, and you know what I mean? My dad, he was in the service, you know what I mean? So that was like the first time. And then I went to a performing arts school starting in the 6th grade. It was like 6th to senior year, actually.
Same school.
Yeah, same school the whole time. Yeah, it was actually really cool just because, like, you use the word nurture, and they really nurtured just the creative arts. It was a performing arts school. So we did shows, we did plays. I did jazz vocal production and classical and danced there as well, too. So it was at a fairly young age, 6, and then really kind of dove into things when I was like around 10, 11.
So did you decide to go, or did your parents let you decide to go to performing arts school, or was that something that was sought after?
I think it was always, so I went to, it's what's called a feeder school. I went to a school called Valencia Park, shout out VP. But I went to a feeder school. It was like a few feeder schools in San Diego. Zamorano, Oak Park, Valencia Park was one of them, O'Farrell. And so it was just kind of always a known thing. I always loved dancing. I always loved performing. Okay. And I knew about SCPA. My parents knew about SCPA, School for Creative and Performing Arts. And so it was kind of natural. I went to Valencia Park, and it was a feeder school for that performing arts school. I did dance at VP as well, too. And so it's always been a thing. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint a moment of like, I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just has
You
always
was
been a
always
part.
being
Yeah, it's
groomed in
always
that
been. My
space.
parents have always loved
Yeah.
music. They've always loved the arts. So I just think like it was always there was never really a plan B. Except for one time I wanted to be a paleontologist, and then they were like, "You should keep singing," and I was like, "All right."
A paleontologist.
Yeah, I don't know. I just was
Where
into
did that come
dinosaurs.
from?
Is
What
that
did
the people, I was about to say, that's the people that find dinosaurs
Yeah, I
bones
was
and
just
stuff,
into
right?
dinosaurs. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." But
Do they
then I
have
was like,
dinosaurs in San Diego?
No, they have a great zoo. I was like, they have a
Amazing
great zoo.
zoo.
They have good
I've
museums.
taken my kids.
No,
No,
I've
they have
taken
good
my
music. Plus,
kids.
you know, your mind, like you young, I have ADHD. My mind go on tangents. I'd be like, I'm gonna be a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I just like dinosaurs. But then they were like, well, mainly you're just gonna have to dig through a bunch of dirt to find these skeletons. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm gonna just sing, and I'm gonna sing and dance. You know what I mean?
So that's the only other thing you've ever wanted to do.
Well, when I was that age, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I have there's a lot of companies and a lot of things that I'm doing and want to do. So, and movies became one of those things, producing movies, writing, co-directing.
Yeah.
So,
But you were in like, it's like my daughter's same way, like getting this space where it's almost like early college, where you're like, you're hyper focused
right.
on that thing. Like
Your trade.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to a school, performing arts school, but they didn't have a football team.
Mine didn't either. But because we didn't have a football team, you were allowed to play for other schools in the area. Like you could choose. So if I wanted to play for,
You talking about in high school?
yeah, in high school.
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's
if
how
I
they
wanted
do
to
it.
play for
Yeah, yeah. That's
if
how
I
they
wanted
tried
to
to
play
get me.
for like Lincoln Park, I could play for Lincoln.
It was too many niggas walking around smoking cigarettes with
Oh, okay. My
trench
God.
coats on for me to go to School of the Arts. I was like, niggas.
I want to say that's completely inaccurate, but
is so
it's not. It's accurate.
I was like,
You were like,
I'm a hood nigga.
Right.
it's
That's
different over here. I don't know what y'all doing.
I showed
Good luck.
I was like, what school? No football?
Yeah.
So you were supposed. I
Yeah.
see.
You can pick though. At least in California.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in
not-
California
not-
it's
not
like
in
that.
Maryland.
So if you go,
okay.
if you go to a School of the Arts,
Right.
they let you pick what high school you want to play sports
Play
for.
sports.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
Cheer too. Everything.
Yeah,
Is,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
So you
would've-
still get the experience.
Okay.
Because you can't be with the band niggas and the hoop team. It can't be all band
You got
niggas.
picked, right?
You know what I mean?
They
It
need
get tricky.
well-rounded kids,
It
right?
get
Yeah,
tricky.
right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I just needed a different experience. And my
Right.
high school was horrible. It was fire, shooting,
Oh, no.
but we played football.
Right.
And basketball, I was like,
And you still did the arts.
yeah, and, but I was
Was y'all gated?
no,
We was gated up.
no, we
Yeah,
had
we was East Side High.
the front of the
wow.
school. Nope, front of the
Yeah,
gate. Nope. We had chains on the door, so you can get out of one door. But you know what I'm
Damn.
saying? You knew what door that was. Like, no, it was different. But see, I was also the church kid. So,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
all the people was like, they loved me. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like, blessings. You know,
Right,
that was,
yeah, exactly.
That was me
You was
walking
good.
through the hallways with
They
my
was gonna
Bible.
make sure you got out the one door
They
first.
was making sure I got out first.
Right.
Protect the rail.
Right, yeah.
Protect the rail.
Protect Minister Babs.
We need shirts that say protect the rail, bro.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
They needed me because I was the prayer warrior. So at what point do you say it should be a profession? Because even as you're being groomed in this space, it's still just, it's still just love at this point. You know what I mean? It's still just.
It's definitely love, but I think the school that I went to, you know what I mean? It was singing at home, singing in church, singing in school, but it was the school was amazing, honestly. You really got familiar with putting on a stage show. It was Broadway focused. That was the main thing. And I have amazing friends. A good friend of mine, Chandra Prophet, made it all the way to Broadway. She's in The Lion King, and so it was kind of really geared toward that. And you got to see the whole production. You got to do the music and the dancing and, learn the lines, but the kids did also the production. They did behind the scenes, you know what I mean? They were the lighting techs.
It's all of it.
It was really like
Yeah, that's
all
dope.
encompassing. So the school kind of geared you toward doing that as a profession, you know. I think for me it was just like, do I want to dance? Do I want to do Broadway, or do I want to? And I think around the age of 16, I was really clear that I was like, no, I really want to be a recording artist. Like I want to write my own music. I like the idea of creating and kind of forging my own path, you know what I mean? So plus I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, how much do you get paid not being a principal on Broadway? I was like, no, I'm good. This is R&B money, right? Yeah. I like singing R&B. I like making money.
Yeah. Talk the
talk.
I'm a Capricorn. You know what I
Talk the
mean? I was
talk.
like, yeah. So
Yeah.
no, so it was cool. I love, it was just the passion of creating things, making things, and just, I just loved, the work of so many artists, and that really inspired me. And so I'm like, okay, cool. They're writers. Those people are making their music. They're, you know what I mean? And that's what I want to do. So it was about like 16.
Were there any things that you were connected to in San Diego that kind of gave you an inkling of what the business was?
That's a good question. Things that I was connected to. Oh, but again, it was still more theater based. Like there was a theater that I would do during the summer times. It was called like Theater Noir, and there was this director, and he would just put on shows. He did Fame. I did Fame there. I did Boogie Nights, which is just kind of like a medley show.
Okay.
I met some managers. I went to a few studios. I actually used to record with a few producers out there. Actually, if you know San Diego, it's on Peter Pan Ave. If you don't, the Skyline, no.
I don't know Peter Pan Ave.
All right, that's good. But yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that there were things that gave me an inkling. I was just I was obsessed with it. You know what I mean? So I feel like I was looking up stuff all the time. And
because I asked you that because going to School of the Arts, right? And I think people feel as if from putting their kids in these type of schools, obviously you learn the arts.
Yeah.
But then at some point you got to learn the business.
The business, yeah. The business was definitely on the ground. Like that was just experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like there were things in San Diego, but there were things, there was just some things that when you want to be a part of this your whole life, like, but again, I'm looking at it from the other side, right? Things are so different now, but it was like a record label is the best thing to have. And you got to get a manager and you got to, you know what I mean? So it was like trying to find people in San Diego. And I had like a manager out there, but he was kind of an unofficial manager, and so I don't know. It's kind of funny because figuring it out on the ground, kind of, you have good experiences. Like I feel like it made my skin a little bit thicker.
For sure.
But then you also have experiences that you're like, I don't want my kids to go through that. And I don't want, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, but it was just, I always wanted it. So it was like, wherever I have to go, you know what I mean? And whatever I have to do, I would kind of try to get money together to travel up to LA as much as I could, to sing. And, I always tell people, I was like, the thing at a certain time was like you get into a party and then you got to meet somebody famous so you can get them your demo. You know what I mean? Like that's what you would think. You know what I'm saying? Or printing CDs and I would sell them on the beach in San Diego or like so it's just whatever.
You
I
did
had
the
to
whole
do.
thing.
The whole thing. That's why
so
when people
were
ask
you
me
street performing too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And I put on like shows. I did something at it's actually the Grove in Anaheim. I remember at the time I was opening for. It was like San Diego, so I was opening for Paula Deanda and Baby Bash, like that whole like exactly.
Yeah.
So and I had to put everything together. I had to do the booking. I was kind of like my own promo person and was hoping to meet people through that. Put together the background singers and the show and the track and all of the promo materials and So it's really when I try to recap it, it's really like there's a lot of tentacles. It's really nebulous because it was just like cool. If this seemed good, I'm gonna go do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's probably the long way around, but.
Well, no, it's actually like you just didn't skip no steps.
No steps
At all.
Yeah, no,
At all.
And it's them little steps too, not like the
exactly.
big steps.
Yeah, definitely.
You went through those steps,
and then going to like they used to have the like modeling agencies and the acting agencies, the John Robert Powers and the what's the other one? What's the Casablanca or whatever?
Or it's just a cattle call of people.
Literally
Yeah.
Which and when you're young, you just this is
show up.
There's every opportunity felt like the opportunity and the big shot.
Did you ever go to any of that? I got convinced to go to one thing. I stayed for 5 minutes. I was like, oh, hell no. I'm out. I'd rather be broke.
Yeah. The closest,
I did not.
The closest I've seen to that is just like auditioning, you know what I'm saying, for parts. But it was like a couple of the auditions I walked in to, of course it's a big call. And I'm like, when I see the big call and I see all these people, I'm like, oh, I can take them. But then, you see an A-lister walk in. You're like, "What you doing here?" I'm going out for that part. Like, fuck.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
I'm holler at y'all, man. I can't remember. I can't remember who it was that walked. Oh my God, who was it that walked in and I walked out? I cannot remember who it was. It was somebody though. It was like. I wanted to get an autograph.
I wanted
to get an audition, but I'll just take your autograph and go.
But we here for the same spot.
Yeah.
So rather than like lose my cool, I'ma just get on out of here because I know damn well
they're gonna give it to you, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I think the thing I went to is like you're supposed to be in the background of something, and I was 18. It was like you're gonna be in the background of some independent movie. We're gonna pay you $40 for
back
12 hours.
I was gonna pay you $40.
I was like,
I would go to these audition things. They're like, great. Now all you have to do is pay us $700 for pictures and
oh,
classes.
they was trying to
I
get
like,
you to
damn.
pay.
Look, not me like, I think I have $7, $8, $9. You know what I mean? Like, it's just but it's like, again, when you're young like that, it's just like every opportunity seems like the
Yeah,
best
but it
thing.
also separates who really wants it and who doesn't.
Right,
Sure.
yeah,
I
for
didn't
sure.
want to be that.
Right,
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
It was
for
just
sure.
another at that particular moment for me was just a hustle.
Yeah,
I didn't want to sell
yeah.
more drugs.
Right.
You know, prison wasn't where I wanted to be.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I got to stop selling dope. I'm going to go out here and think I'm going to be an actor in the back of somebody's movie.
Right. That's real. And that was the thing at the time too. You're right. It was for modeling, acting. That wasn't my focus, but I thought, well, that could be a way into music. I could meet somebody and did it. You know what I mean? So it was just all connected. You know what I mean? Like
Do you
now I
remember
look
the first
back.
song you wrote?
Ooh, yeah, I wrote a song called "Is It Love." Is it love, 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 love that makes you feel this way? Is it love, 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 love? Yeah, it was a song I wrote. I was probably like, you know what? That was the first solo song I wrote. I think I was like,
Wait, you were in a group?
16. I was about to be 17. Yeah, when I was 16, I was in a group with like a few homegirls in high school, and we were called Intimate. Intimate. Like we
So
had
y'all
a
had
little
a
harmony.
call.
Yeah, we had our thing planned out. We was like, no, yeah, we did that. So we had our little group. So we wrote some things together. But the main one I wrote was that "Is It Love" was the first one that I wrote. And then I was also in actually very, very briefly, but it was like they weren't really, I think the group was kind of disbanding at the time, but I had auditioned that one of their members was leaving for the group. Remember the R&B group ISIS back in the day?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so one of their members had left, and so they were auditioning people, and then I ended up getting the part. But we never really did anything because I think they were kind of disbanding at this point. But yeah, it was like I said, I was down. I was like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Your
this is
first
what I
song
love.
sounds way better than mine.
Nah, what was your
Like,
first?
I don't want to talk about
No,
it.
let
Like, your
let-
first
let-
song sounded great. I was like, that's a nice song.
Yeah.
It was
what I'm
definitely
like,
ABCs.
you
It
sure
was
that's
definitely
your
giving
first
ABCs.
song?
That is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
giving ABCs. That is like, we should do that now. Give it.
But I didn't know. I wasn't in love. I was like, this feel right. Is it love? Right? Yeah. I mean, I wasn't
This
in love.
is
at
what
the
they be
time,
singing about.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was like, my favorite. I'm gonna put this in here and yeah, so yeah.
So you're going through all these progressions, of course, not skipping any steps, in anywhere to get it. When or where's your discovery?
Yeah. So that was I actually started working with this manager which was, I will not say names. It was actually listen, it was a terrible experience, but still some good things came from it. And so I will say that, but I do say that because I always like to remind people, like, those experiences can happen, but they don't have to take you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my big break actually really came through Stevie Wonder. That he's kind of like I look at him as like my godfather when it comes to the business and singing. Yes. So.
Do we have any champagne left in the refrigerator?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did it get expensive
We got
in
a few
here?
bottles.
Did it get really
Yeah,
expensive?
We got a few bottles.
We got a few bottles left, right? Just because
So you're in LA at this point, though.
No. I was still in San Diego at the time. I was just commuting back and forth. You know, it's like, and so I was working with this manager, and he happened upon actually Kai Miller Morris, who was his wife at the time, was Stevie's wife at the time. And they were just in a pastry shop, he says. And I had come up to LA to sing. I was singing in front of a couple songs that I wrote. You know what I mean? It was kind of like a retro soul vibe to it. And I was singing a couple songs I wrote at a strip mall in Malibu, which is still there, and in front of like some shoe store. And so he just had some clips of that. So he played it for her while she was in there. And then she revealed to him after she saw it, she was like, well, I'm actually Stevie Wonder's wife. I love this. I want to play it for him, you know. So she played it for him, and he actually really liked it. And so they orchestrated a call, which I'm in San Diego. Let me tell you something. I'm in San Diego sitting, my mother's entire apartment. It was definitely smaller than this room. I was like, it's about the size. This would have been luxury, lower the roof, closing the walls. That's like my mother's spot. Yeah. So I was sleeping on her futon, and it was just like a tiny little apartment behind 7-Eleven next to a dumpster, you know. And then I'm sitting there on the phone with Stevie Wonder, like, hey. And he's like talking about a certain type of song he wants to write and asking me about my music. And he was asking me like detailed stuff, like, wow, you know, I think he loved that it had like this sort of retro soul and jazzier feel to it. And so he would ask me things like, how come they're only 2 minutes long? And I love that he clocked that, because I love some of the records that I love from Billie Holiday and people back in the day were shorter. You know what I mean? And I love it was just a taste. And then he talked about this song that he wanted to do with me. He also asked me what my sign was and went into that for a while. And then my mother was like, do the dishes. And I was like, I'm actually super busy right now. I'm on the phone with Stevie, so you're going to have to handle that. You're going to have to handle that for me. Like,
You still got to do the dishes.
Yeah, no, I still had to do them. I was still
I
in
know
trouble.
what that is.
Look, she did not believe me, and
Tell
I still had to do
Stevie
them. Right, yeah.
you
And I
gotta
got
do the
cussed out.
dishes.
Yeah, and I got cussed out. Right, exactly.
And I got cussed
exactly. But no, so that was really, so, but to that point, it didn't end up working out at the time. And what I was told was that they didn't like you. You weren't good enough. You know, the conversation wasn't good enough. I was okay. You know what I mean?
With Stevie.
The music. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's what I was told from the person I was working with at the time. So I didn't find out until a year later when my deal was up with that manager. They held on to my information, Kai and Stevie, and they reached out to me again and were like, hey, we hope you're not still with this person. And they explained to me what happened, which is that he told them, like, they have to pay something like $50,000 just to meet me in the studio. You know what I mean? So I didn't know about that. I just thought I wasn't good enough, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I say that because that's why I say, like, things like that don't have to be the end. You know what I mean? Like, so they actually introduced me to my producer who did my first record, and so the rest was kind of like history from there. Yeah, so very grateful
Thank
to them.
God.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of this business is just sometimes we go through things like that
Yeah.
with people who just have very heartless individuals
Yeah.
in this business, and I attribute it to them just not having any talent, not having any gifts,
Yeah.
and so when it becomes a thing where you'll do anything for money, like
Right. That's the thing. Yeah.
you'll do anything to people,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
in the
I think
pursuit
fear
of that.
I think it's really truthfully at the root of it is like fear based. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't. You have to get yours by any means necessary, and you don't think you'll ever have something, or you got to hold on to it because you're scared if you lose it and all this stuff as well. So I think it's definitely like a fear thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, which I think is what kind of like makes me have empathy. You feel me? Like, I go, all right, cool. I could sit and be mad at this person and be like, but I'm like, you know what? You're just scared. You know what I mean? And that's where you're operating from. So I hope you, God willing, you know what I'm saying? By his grace, I hope you find a way out of that. You know what I mean? And then
That's the Capricorn.
try
in
to,
it.
yeah. So I have
I'm
heard.
not a Capricorn.
He not a
So no. You ain't fucking with it?
Not even close.
Me and 50 Cent born 3 days apart.
I can't.
Take that however you want to.
Okay.
I ain't squashing no beefs.
No, just petty. Just petty.
I don't wish you well.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Die, nigga, die.
Nigga, that's our balance. I'm
Right,
like,
right.
Come on, Jay.
You
let's
know,
just,
right. This-
Come
you know,
on,
this
just,
minister. You
come
know,
on.
this
We
the
supposed
minister.
to be
Right.
supposed to be. Let's just.
Oh, you
pray
trying to
for
kick knowledge?
You trying to kick knowledge, nigga?
I said cheese.
Nigga, give me a double burger with cheese, nigga.
Yeah, man. I get it, though.
That is our balance. I am like, we have
That's
to
good.
forgive.
That's why this works. I like it.
Oh, no,
right.
it's
Yeah,
perfect.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
That's perfect. He yells me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there
He
you
helped me
go.
stay out of jail.
He be like, nigga,
That's
use
good.
your muscles,
That's
nigga.
really
You know
good,
what you're right.
right?
Fuck that.
Nigga,
Now use your muscles.
I'm on this nigga. Nigga. So they introduced you to a producer who does your first single, your first album?
First album. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So that was Adrian Gervitz was his name.
Okay.
He was a producer. He was a very unknown producer as far as I knew here. Out of London, you know what I mean? He was an English dude. And so
They're
it was
dope.
just,
They're
he
always
he
dope.
loved my voice. He was passionate about it, And so we did the record together. And then from there I was introduced. We did kind of the label circuit, and we're like, doing the kind of this meeting with the labels. Everybody was doing a
With
song and
Stevie?
dance. No,
Too, though,
not
or
at the
no?
time. Yeah, no.
Okay,
no, yeah,
okay.
he was more hands off with this, but and then from there I was introduced to Raphael Sadiq, who also like produced. So it was Adrian Gervitz and Raphael Sadiq that produced my first record. So yeah, it was cool. It was things were happening. I was like, okay, can't you know what I mean? After all this time, like
Raphael still ain't done no record for me.
let's put it on wax right now. Ray, I would really love to do a record.
He's
with you
cool.
and
He
Tank.
is.
And Jay, if you would like to.
He's God
he's
level.
gonna do it.
No, he's amazing. Yeah, he's
God
really
level.
amazing. Yeah, he's so cool too. Like he let me sit in there and mix the record too. You know what I mean? I had some people mixing it, but I can be quite controlling sometimes. I'm working on me. But so there's just details that I wanted to hear. And so he let me sit in there with his mix engineers, Jerry, Bobby Campbell, Ari, and we just kind of mixed the record and worked together. And then he worked on songs with me as well too. So yeah, he's amazing. He's definitely someone I'm always gonna work with. He did some music with Billy music with me as well too. Yeah,
Dope,
for
dope.
sure. Yeah.
And what was the call out from the first album? What was the
The first track?
what was the first
the-
single? Yeah.
Oh, the first single. Well, it was a song called "Rise Up." Yeah. How you want me to?
Put your order in. Put your order in.
$3. Make it booth.
Which I will
Orange
tell
label.
you was not on the album originally, by the way. That was a last minute addition to the record. Yeah. I wrote
happens
that.
like
So the
that.
album was done already.
It was done, completely done. Yeah. And I had been doing I was actually really, I think, tired. Like you said, no skipped steps. You know what I mean? So by
Yeah.
this point, I was just like, oh my, I'm with the label now and I'm going to these sessions and writing all these songs, but the album is done and I'm not loving what we're coming up with and all the things. So I forgot I had done a session with this lady named Jen Del Civio and we did Rise Up. And so when I was in the meeting with Warner, they were like, hey, we love it, blah, 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 but we really want to play you a song. And I was like, They were like, you wrote it. I was like, well, let me hear it. I was like, well, let me just put it on there. Let me listen
If
to
you
it.
said I wrote
right,
it,
right. I was like, well, let me listen. Let me
give you a
at least
minute.
give you a minute,
You
right?
got 10
if I ain't write it, I'm not listening.
No.
We've all been
and
there.
so right,
No,
right,
we've all been
100%,
there.
right. Because I was like,
We've all been there.
at this point, I was like, side eyeing everybody. So, and they played it, and I was like, oh, it like kind of just quieted the room for a second. I was like, yeah, no, it was just very, very apparent. I was like, this absolutely has to be on the album. Absolutely has to be the first single. And they tried to go in and do the drums remix and get the big DJs, the
The whole
Tiestos,
thing.
and all the stuff
The
to
whole
put
thing.
the stuff on there. But I was just the whole time was just kind of like, y'all, I think the song is like what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I think the song is like, this is who I am. And so it just, nothing ever worked. Nothing ever sat properly. So it just, exactly what we made it to be is what ended up out there and what people heard.
What
and,
people love.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
have one question about it.
Mm-hmm.
Each other.
Yeah, well, it just felt better at the time. I mean, what was the thing that said? Because I wanted to. It felt better at the time, right?
That's fair.
Look.
Because every time it comes on, I'm like,
You know what's so funny?
She doesn't
No,
say
I
each
say
other.
each
She
other,
said
yeah.
each other.
I had this thing that I was really like, I wanted to play with vowel sounds and I wanted to da-da-da. I don't like the feeling of like, no, either that or I was just like really like wilding. But I like playing with vowel sounds. And so I'm like, you know what? If I just twist this vowel a little bit or twist certain things and it feels better like that. The other part is I'm like, if I really love the performance of something, you know what I mean? Like the feeling of it, the performance of it, I'm like, oh, I'll try to reapproach it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's probably just gonna have to have that mistake in there. If I'm really like, I can sing it better, but I can't get that feeling.
replicate
I can't
that,
replicate
yeah.
that feeling.
But that's not a mistake. That's feeling.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a feeling. And I
Yeah.
think at the time too, I was like, I just want to sing and things that sound weird. Not that it's for weird's sake, but just because like, I just hate being limited. Like this is how I sing and I have to sing this way. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm feeling like changing the place I'm singing from or doing
Yeah.
this thing. So I'm always experimenting with stuff like that, honestly. Yeah.
I had
That's
to
why.
ask her.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So Rise Up just goes crazy.
Yeah.
It just goes crazy.
Yeah,
like
it's
my
crazy.
daughter Jordan at her graduation, that's the solo she sang
So
for her
beautiful.
graduating class.
Mhm.
I cried a little bit.
I love that.
I ain't cry, I ain't cried crazy.
You cry crazy.
I cried.
You cry crazy.
I cried enough.
I cried.
But it
I
was
cried crazy.
but it was just like the song and the moment, like all of these
Yeah.
things. The song is such a defining moment for so many moments.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like not skipping the steps, do you feel a sense of like finally when this record becomes, because this is a different level of hit record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Different level.
Yeah, it's global.
It's global. It's on TV.
Yeah.
It's American Idol. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's not a normal hit record. That is a phenomenon.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the account to prove it.
Because she wrote it too.
Yes, I did
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you, that's why I always tell people, I was like, I really, you know what I mean? It's not just like fake humble tip. It's just like we freestyled it, right? Which sounds like, okay, a flex, but it was one of those things that I realized like when I freestyled, not the whole thing, but like most of it, like Rise Up, Do It 1,000 Times Again. It was just, she was playing these chords. And it's like, it's just simple chords, simple 4 chords, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Repetition, whatever. And I was like, all right. I literally prayed. I prayed when I was in the car and I was like, God, I don't even want to be here, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I was like, friend had been diagnosed with cancer. Like, you know, things just weren't happening in the career, and it just felt like such a long time. And like, I think it was the first time I started to be like, is this not gonna happen? Like, you know, I don't know what else to do. I don't know, you know. And so I just prayed, and I was like, Lord, just you speak. You know what I mean? I don't want, just like, you inhabit the space, you speak, and let whatever come out. So she started playing these chords, and I just started singing, and a lot of the song, I have it. I'll find it at some point. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. A lot of the song came out just in that first kind of like playing around take. And so I always tell people, I'm like, yeah, I did write it, but like, it was definitely, you know, the moments where you're clear, you're a vessel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, okay.
Yes.
So that's why, you know, the song doing what it did, I will say, like, yes, it felt like, yes, finally, but it also felt like, whoa, that I didn't expect. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I did not anticipate. I didn't anticipate it doing what it does for people, or like being the anthem for Black Lives Matter. I didn't anticipate it, like, I'll put it like this. I didn't anticipate it being like life changing and saving. Like when we do tours and we do like meet and greets, right? I always tell my team, because they be like, Andra, you know what I'm saying? Meet and greets, like, we got to get out of here. But I'm like, my nigga, who do I rush? The nigga whose like parent was diagnosed with cancer, or the nigga who just tried to kill herself? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, so it's like, I get a lot of that. And it's amazing where you would think it would depress you. It just reminds me of like the power of music, which I believe is at its core. I believe it was designed to be healing. But I get people all the time that's like, wow, I was literally going to kill myself. I listened to your song. I did. And I'm like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, or I had the bottle of pills, or I had this, or I'm going through depression, or I lost a family member. Or I had one family say, this woman, she was diagnosed with cancer. We were on stage and we brought her up. And so we just had the audience. We just prayed over her, you know. She did end up passing away. And then her family was like, oh, you know, her request is that you're there during her dying moment. So it was like me, her, and her family. And I was like, you know, it's one of those things that you're like, you guys, I really don't, you know what I mean? I feel like this feels very intrusive, and I don't. But you're just reminded, like, it's not about you. They just want what they believe that spirit is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I definitely did not anticipate it doing what it did. And I'm super, super grateful. Yeah.
Amazing record.
Thank you.
I was just about, when you said like, who do I rush? It's like,
Yeah, who do you rush? Like,
it's I'm so connected
right
to.
You're like, sorry, I'm busy. We have you know what I mean? I'm like,
it's a tough spot.
It's hard because this person has been waiting since they heard the song, you know what I mean, to come to this show for however long, a year, whatever, and has this heavy story, and that's what they want to get off. And so it's hard to be like, I don't have time to hear your life change. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's you just got to make time. You got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think because a lot of times we're on the other side of it. We're so used to just delivering and being the vessel and just doing what we're called to do, that we never really get to stop and kind of visualize and understand the effects of what we do. Yeah. Like, to really have those conversations. Like, I just make it a point to just stop and talk to anybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And just see where it's going. And it's like you said, some of the craziest conversations, some of the craziest connections. Yep. Mm-hmm. And then for me, like Jay'll tell you, like, I've never met a stranger. I'll just create a connection.
I can see that. And I like that.
We'll just talk till we figure out some common ground.
You were like that with me when I first met you all those years ago. I was like, you were so nice. It was actually me and Ed Sheeran. I don't know if you remember that night.
No way.
Yeah, it was before he blew up. It was crazy. You know what I mean? He was doing his circular singing.
With Jamie.
Yeah. He was doing his circular singing, and all the ladies in the audience was like, oh my God, this white boy Ginger, and take my bras off and throw it at. It was crazy. Yeah, the night was nuts. You were just so kind and so cool to everybody.
I cannot believe it was that long ago.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was a time too.
R&B Live, yeah.
We used to have a time at R&B
Yeah,
Live.
it was so fun. It was so fun. It got crazy when it went to the Key Club too. I was
Key
like,
Club
this is different.
I remember so many nights. I remember we sang Jodeci one night. It was a Grammy night, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We sang was it Grammy night? Me, Lonnie, I think Tex. Mm-hmm. We sang some Jodeci. I remember when Brandy sang and all the dudes was in the corner hugging each other. Like it was just like they were fawning over Brandy. Like, I was like, you see Brandy? Like Christopher Williams, you know what I'm saying, pulling up on a motorcycle with God knows what in his book bag. You know what I'm saying? Don't touch my bag, nigga. All right. If I'm dreaming, leave the fucking bag alone. I'll fuck you up in here, nigga.
Shouting out CMB and everything.
Nigga, hey, shout out to Christopher Williams. He is not a game. Gotta get him on it. But that time, it was like, you know, what a time. And that's
one of
crazy.
the steps. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the steps. Like, I think back, and it's like very fond memories. So it's a long journey, but they're all fond memories. You know what I'm saying? So like, and meeting you for the first time too, because I was just a big fan of your voice and your music. And I was like, wow, he's just so cool. You know, that felt like another step. This is my big opportunity. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, it was actually, that experience was amazing. So yeah, that was actually when I first met you.
Yes, ma'am. Is there a tour after that? Do we go straight on a world tour like
after we dropped the album? Ooh, actually. How fast? I don't remember how quickly. My memory is terrible. I don't remember how quickly we went on tour after that. I think it was fairly quickly, actually, after we released the record. Yeah, no, we started touring pretty immediately. But my first tour was opening, actually, for Lenny Kravitz, which I thought was just like so.
if we could get
Yeah.
4 more bottles of booze, some tequila.
You need the waitress to stay close. You know how when you at the club, you be like, listen, so it's gonna be one of them nights. I'm gonna need you to just keep coming by.
Just stay close.
Keep coming by.
Could you replenish the ice? Throw some Red Bulls in there.
I'm gonna tip you well.
I'm gonna tip you well.
I'm gonna tip you well.
And like 8 bottles of water.
That's right, 8 bottles of water, right? Yeah, flat, please. Yeah, thank you, right, yeah. No, it was actually, well, it's funny. Touring with Lenny was an amazing experience. He was just really amazing, and it was just like, Mr. Ice, Sir Kravitz. But yeah, it was great touring with him just because it was a great experience, learning a lot, watching him. Also, what was really interesting too was just to see like his audience. You know what I'm saying? It's a really, I had no idea who was going to show up and who would be in the audience each city we showed up. You know what I'm saying? So it was like really interesting to be surprised by like the diversity and like the group of people in his audience. So I was like, okay, this is really interesting. Like, you know, he's like tapped something here. And so it was just, I mean, he's a legend. And so it was just great watching him, how he maneuvered with his band and with, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he runs a tight ship in a great way. And then he puts on a great show because of that. You know what I mean? Like, but the first night, I'm not going to lie to you. The first night I was tricked on that tour because the first night I got to, it was Toronto. Toronto was the first date. And that was the first time I had been to, I think it was the first time I had been to Canada. But I get in my hotel room and I'm like, nigga, I opened the door and I closed it back because I was like, oh shit, like I accidentally opened the wine cellar. You know what I'm saying? Had to go back, get the key and all that stuff. And they were like, no, that was your room. I opened it up. I was like, no, the wine cellar was just a huge middle section. My room was massive. I was like, this is the biggest thing I've ever been in my life. It was so huge. It had multiple rooms with a pool table and an entertainment room. It had a whole wine cellar. Nigga, I was like, did they accidentally give me Drake's suite? Like, I was like, this is so cute. I was like, what is going on? Like, and then we get to the first day of tour and they had this huge spread and it was like all of this charcuterie boards and seafood and you know what I'm saying? Like everything. It was like so amazing. So I was like, yo, tour is lit. Like, I don't know what Michael Jackson was talking about. This shit is fire. Like, this is amazing. You know, I love touring, blah, blah, blah. Next tour date, I was like, it was me and a roach in my tiny little hotel room. I was like, this is some bullshit. I was like, no.
But that's tour for you.
Bro, that is literally how tour goes. The first day had me. It fucked me up. Yeah. I was like, I'm in some trouble right now. That second day was very clear. I was like, what is on my lap? That's a roach.
I've been in rooms where I don't take my sweatsuit off.
I'm not. I was sleep standing up in the middle of the room. I stood like this.
Tank be like, man, Jay, it's a day room. Day my ass.
Right, exactly. I was like, right.
I'm not going to spend another day in
this. Might be a day room, but these bed bugs are going to last for a couple of weeks. I'm like, no, yeah.
I'm not sleeping in here, Chief.
No. Oh, we're the same when it comes to that. Oh, we're definitely. I feel bad for them because they got to book hotels. Corinne got to book hotel all the time, but I'd be like,
I'm like, bro, it's fine. It's a Days Inn, but it's the upgraded version.
It's just, upgraded Days Inn.
The last day.
Right. Exactly right. Wait, what's the Days Inn? What's the upgraded Days Inn?
I don't know.
Days Hotel. You know what I'm saying? It's the change. Okay.
As soon as you walk in, you just know it's tricky.
I feel so bad. I feel bad. They walk into a room and they can look around and they look at me. They'd be like, we're not staying here. Don't even drop a bag. We're leaving immediately. Dirtiness. It's more you travel, you just be like, bro, niggas are dirty, bro. Planes are dirty.
It just depends. Like some cities you go to,
they don't have anything above 3-star.
Yes.
You know how many times the promoter has said that to me on the phone?
It's true. You're right. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, so how far is the nearest for a 5-star
city? Right. Let's
because I don't know if you see the contract, but it says
100 miles.
4-star or better.
So you be like, what's the nearest city so we can reroute the day and give me a 2-hour commute time? Because I'm like, no.
I remember plenty of nights where, because,
I sleep in the SUV. I was sleeping in the SUV before I was sleeping.
I did Big South promo.
Oh, yeah.
In 2000.
Oh, wow.
Big South.
The 99 2000.
The 99 2000. And I remember many a nights, God rest his soul, Brother Wendell, would sleep in the chair.
Yeah.
In his room. He'd be in the chair. Like,
Yep.
I can't get in that bed.
I'm not doing
There's
it.
no way.
I'm not doing it.
There's
I'm not doing
no
it.
way. Me, I'm butt naked in the sheets, bro. That's what we got, baby.
I cannot.
No, bro.
That's what we got.
Listen,
I'll
and
wipe
that's
it off
why.
in the morning.
Listen, I'm not mad at you because that's why you sound the way you sound. You prioritize sleep. I was like, nigga, they gonna get this 24-hour no sleep performance because I was like, I am not getting in there because some things last a lifetime. You never know. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, some things, some bites, like, yeah.
You wasn't out with Lenny.
I'm not mad at that.
I
Right.
You didn't get, you know what I mean?
I wasn't out with Lenny.
You didn't get out.
I didn't get spoiled.
Right. I feel like if they would have started with the Roach Hotel, I would have been good. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I was like,
But
I
to
know
go
what it can
from
be.
that to-
But I
know
also
what it
started as a
can be.
background singer too, so I wasn't
Ah,
part
okay.
of the A group. I was part of the B
okay.
group. So
was
you know
like,
what I'm
let me just
saying?
get in, yeah.
It was definitely motel life where you just walk out of your room outside. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
true. No, you're right. Yeah.
so for me, it was just like, all right, okay, this is. This
No,
is
you know
it's
what?
gonna be.
There's a little bit of that in me too, because there are moments now that I think about it. I was like, yeah, there were moments like when we just started out, I would literally be asleep on coats on the airport floor. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's something I would never do. I would never do that now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm terrified. You know what I mean? Of people's feet. But everyone has their
That
thing.
sound like it had trauma.
Everybody, it has. Yes, I don't know.
like you were big question. And give me the answers. I kept putting feet on
Yeah,
your
no,
face. Give me
my
the answers. Tell me what you know.
Yeah.
just take the feet off me. I'll tell you
So
everything.
you dropped the bottle.
Right.
You know
No.
you done fucked up.
So I feel both. I feel you a little bit. I feel you on that too, definitely.
Okay. So you're going crazy. You're on tour. Is the movie next, or the movie comes after your next project?
No, the movie came right after. So this is actually the album that we're releasing is only my second album. Like it's just been such a long time. So the movie actually came like after we did the whole album cycle. We did a couple of tours too. I did a solo tour as well, and then we toured with Leon Bridges. And so, yeah, we did a few tours and festivals, and we did the whole like circuit. You know what I mean? It was an amazing experience. And it just, because of the nature of Rise Up, it honestly just kept going and kind of does keep going. Like, I tell people, this sounds so bad, y'all. I don't even know if I should say this. But Rise Up is, sometimes I feel bad. Because I'm like, okay, we just donate. You know what I'm saying? And we got to donate because I'm like, Rise Up will stream. And it's amazing because the song has that power. And it's oftentimes people are like, I need this to get through this moment. Or,
Yeah.
but like during the Black Lives Matter movement and the march, if there's a huge crisis that happens, oftentimes it will skyrocket because it just becomes the song of this. So I be feeling bad. I'm like, nigga, I feel like this is like a war weapon. Like I gotta do something with this. But so it lasts the cycle lasted quite a long time. And then so once we kind of really finished and I really decided in myself too, I was like, okay, I'm grateful for this, but I want to start working on new music. I'm in that place, and what I wanted to do this time was like, I wanted to produce more on this project. And I loved my touring band. Like they are my family. They've been with me since the beginning. And there's something about them. When you find those players that you're like, they're so genius, but you're also comfortable enough to like,
to them.
you're connected. They understand you. It's instinct. Like, and you're comfortable enough to fail around them. Does that make sense?
100%.
Like I always tell
Absolutely.
people, I don't play. I wish I did. I want to learn. I'm working on it actually. But I don't play. You know what I mean? So everything is guesswork for me.
But you know
what
what
I'm
you
saying?
want to hear.
I do. So it's on my ear. You know what I mean? And they're really like tapped into that. So I was like, okay. And then we know like in the business, like we work in the music industry and the people who are treated probably the worst are usually musicians. You know what I'm saying? So I was
And
like,
dancers.
and dancers, absolutely. And so I'm tired of kind of fighting for them. So I just want to bring them in the studio, make them producers. You know what I'm saying? Because they all have great ears. They're really visionary. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just build this next record and it's just going to be us in the studio producing, doing what we do on the road. You know what I'm saying? And so it definitely took a lot more time than I had anticipated, but it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You're saying this is going to be your second album?
yeah, this is the second
album. So if we start counting the years.
Yeah, no, it's been
7?
It's been since I released my last record, it's been 9 years. Yeah, and we did do 3 movies in between, so it wasn't
You might be
completely
Sade.
unproductive. No,
Yeah,
no.
you might
Well,
be.
you know what's so funny? You know what is so funny?
She pulled up on you too?
No, I want her. No,
was about to say, I was waiting on it.
But when she
I was
do,
really
we're gonna
waiting
be
on it.
right back
We gonna-
here.
we gonna
When she
pull out the
pull up on me-
Magnum bottles of
Nah.
movies and start talking about
when she do pull up on me, we will be right back here talking about
Oh
it.
my God.
But no,
Yeah.
but it's funny because in the beginning of my career, they asked me, they were like, they ask you crazy questions. Who do you want to model your career after? I'm like, y'all, come on, bro. Like, just, like, it feels like a weird question to answer. And I don't know, maybe I was just arrogant at the time, but I was like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell you artists I like, but they were like, we really need to know. We really need to talk. It's okay. So I was like, and one of the people I named was Sade, and they were like, well, she only releases records like every 7 years, every 9 years, every whatever. And at the time, I was like, no, we're going to release more records. I just, I like the vibe. I like whatever. No, 9 years later. And
Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So it happened that way.
Now, is that
like,
of course, I know you take your time making music, but also, is that kind of a testament of the success of that first record? 'Cause like you said, that record has not come to a close, and from a business standpoint, you as a writer and a producer, if you know that language, you continue to do very well. So it's not like you have to rush anything. Is that part of it?
I definitely think that's a part of it. Like I said, the cycle is really long, and it does. All right. Yeah. There's a little bit of like not feeling like I have to rush. Like I want to take my time and I'm like that. I am a perfectionist, which is terrible sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because you can really self-sabotage. Like you really can be in your own way. And that is a balance that I'm trying to learn. Like be precious, but not too precious. You know what I'm saying? Because it does afford you time, not as much time as I've taken, but but it does afford you time. Also, I just have ADHD. I get distracted. Everything's interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Look at
everything's
those curtains.
interesting.
I keep staring at that curtain. I'm like, why is that one different from the rest of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Well, we're still working on that.
That's all right. That's cool. That's cool. No problem. That was like, eternal. But I like it. I like the variation, So there was like.
taking shots at the trap.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
She
Not
like,
at
ain't
all.
this supposed to be R&B money?
No,
That,
I was like, those
That
are
ain't got
curtains.
the vibe.
Look, no, I mean, those are
Promise
curtains.
you.
That was a sheet. Okay, I don't know. No, I'm just kidding, right? No, but yeah, so it definitely does afford you time, but also the time in between the record, because I'm so hands-on, which like I said, I'm really learning too in my life. I'm like, all right, cool. This is great. Hold on to this. This is a detriment. Like, grow from it. Move on. You know what I mean? But I'm also like, it was also the movies. Like, so I started the record. We started producing the record and writing in 2017. And then I got the call. At the end of 2017 about like, hey, we want you to do Billie Holiday. And I was like, the hell are y'all talking about?
You just got the call.
Yeah,
You
they
hadn't
were like,
auditioned for it.
no, I hadn't at this point yet.
Okay.
I did. I ended up auditioning
Okay.
for it, but they just got a call to meet with Lee, because his team and everybody was like, she's the perfect person for it, which makes me laugh so much to this day because my response was like, what are you talking about, nigga? I just love Billie Holiday. I'm not an actress. You know what I mean? Like,
They knew about that call you went on earlier, that model actress thing.
Right. They saw my stuff.
They
They saw
probably
my
your
stuff on John Robert Powers on Casablanca. The pictures that
worked out.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I didn't pay $700 for the pictures. I was like, I'm gonna go another way.
Yeah.
But so I think that it took a long time because we ended up doing that movie, and then we've shot I think 2 other movies on the in between. So that definitely took a lot of time. COVID hit. You know what I mean? It was just like the timing of everything was crazy. And you're right, like Rise Up still does its thing. So, it's definitely I'm looking at my team now. There's definitely more pressure now. My God.
Yeah, put pressure on it.
Look, can we close
Shit.
that door? No, I'm just kidding. Right?
Do you
No, I'm kidding.
like? Man, we just can't glance over, over Billie. It's hard to glance over that when you were, nominated for an Oscar and
Yeah,
you won.
that was cool.
Was that Golden Globe that you won that? Yeah, you won that.
Yes.
Grammy.
And a
Yeah.
Grammy.
Yeah.
Grammy.
It was a celebration.
Celebration, of course. You were, as you say, because I'm not an actor, as you just said that. That is so wrong. It's not even close
Nah, you was locked in.
to not. You're not. You. I don't know
Oh,
what you were
thank you.
thinking at the time, But when you got in front of that camera, Jesus Christ.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, at the time I was not though. If they would have shot the movie at that time, you would have been like, Jesus.
So how long did you
My
prepare?
God, right? Yeah.
So you went to prep.
I did, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So once I actually agreed to do it, because Lee and I were both skeptical. You know, his team's telling him, you got to meet with her. He's like, why would I meet with her? She's not an actress. My team's like, I'm like, I'm not an actress. Why? But I was like, you know what? The long way around, not skipping steps. I say, you know what? Lee Daniels is a good person to know. I should probably just meet him. You know what I mean? Like, definitely not going to do this movie, but why not? You know what I mean? If I want to do music or play some music or whatever, something like that, let me just chop it up with him real quick and just see, you know, what he's talking about. So we met, and it was just like, I'm such a huge fan of Billie Holiday. So I like that. She's really probably one of my foremost inspirations, and she is actually. I'm just like, but so I really, really love her. So meeting with him and his passion, he was a fan of Lady Sings the Blues. That was his thing. And so once he discovered more about Billie Holiday and her fight with strange fruit, like most people's idea of her is that she was a godmother of jazz music, right? You know what I mean? She was probably the most famous jazz singer, you know, at the time. And she was a tragic drug addict, which is not the case. You know what I mean? Those things were true in her life, you know, but she was hunted. And so like, I knew that as a study of her because I became familiar with her when I was like 11 years old. And I just was a huge fan of her. Like I said, the way she sang, you know, I was trying to play with my voice more because I love her identity. And so I sat with him, and he was really so enamored and so passionate about this story. He was like, people need to know this about her. And so he breaks down what he's going to do and how he's going to, like, you know, just he's trying to vindicate really her legacy. He was like, I'm making this for Black women. Like, I want people to know she's a fighter. I'm so moved by her story and by the song Strange Fruit. He wasn't even really familiar with the song. And so I really loved that. I was like, I really love how passionate he is, but I'm excited for him and whoever he gets to do the movie, but I still
You're not
shouldn't
putting
be the person.
your place.
Yeah, because I was
you
like,
in that place.
I love her so. I told people, I said, my biggest fear was like, people would be like, oh, I love Billie Holiday. Oh my God, you remember the amazing, you know, Diana Ross in Lady Sings the Blues. Oh, you remember the amazing Audra McDonald on Broadway. Oh, you remember when Andra did it? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be that nigga. You know what I mean? I was like, oh my God, like this
Everybody
is terrible.
can't play Michael Jackson.
No, bro, yeah, exactly. Like, so I was really, wow. Wow. You are Prince Petty. That's your right there.
That is our friend.
So yeah, so I was.
Play
I
his
just
fuck up.
I can't. So yeah, so I met with him and he introduced me. He was like, you know what? What I love about Lee is he didn't just kind of throw me to the wolves and be like, whatever, let's see. So before we even did the audition, he got me with Tasha Smith, who was my acting coach, who is like,
Shout out to Tasha
she
Smith.
is an amazing
Fire.
director, actress, coach. Like, she's just all the things. And a sister, you know. So he linked me with her and to prepare me for the audition. So I just thought that was really like, that's why I tell people, I'm like, you know, I'm grateful, and I'm grateful that people love the performance, but it would not have been that performance without I think there are very, very few. And when I say a handful, I mean maybe like 3 fingers, directors in Hollywood that can pull performances out of actors the way Lee does. You know what I mean? There's just like very, very few people. Scorsese's like that. Lee is like that. Like, so it was a combination of like her coaching, her believing in me, even more than I did in the beginning, and him believing in me and his direction, you know? So he got me with her. And then he said he saw a little tape when he tells the story, he says he saw a tape. She sent him a clip of me just like going through the scenes. He said, and in that moment I knew, he's like, you weren't acting, you were just being, you know what I mean? He was like, that was the moment I knew you were Billie. And and then they did this thing where like I was preparing for the role like a lot before, because I got it at the top of 2018 and we didn't start filming until the very end of, or did I get it 2017? I can't remember. We didn't start filming till the end of 2019. So I was kind of in her headspace, changing for a long time. I started smoking cigarettes. I started drinking alcohol, started cussing more, which I didn't do. It still hasn't gone away. But
and you just went in it.
Yeah. When
from
she
a
told
method
me,
standpoint.
Yeah, what she trained me from a different thing. She said, but what you did, sis, is you did what I trained you. But she also trained me to just do what you need to do to get it. You know what I mean? And so she trained me in this particular way. And then she said, you also incorporated some method. And so it was just like, And then we didn't get in and start coaching heavily until that was Lee's call. Lee was like, I don't want you to get with her until 2 weeks right before we go to film, and then intensively work with her, because he really, and it worked, because he had this idea that he was like, I want the anxiety and because Billie would have that in her life during this period of her life. I want the anxiety and the nerves, and I want her to be super present, and I want all that to work for her. And so it was a combination of all of my preparation, those intense 2 weeks, his work.
Dope
so
and
yeah,
smart.
I was super grateful. It all came together. You know what I mean?
You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That movie is special.
Thank you so much. That afforded me some more time.
Yeah. I just didn't like the way you left your band in the middle of the
No, yeah, it's exactly
on the road like that. I was like,
terrible.
damn, that's cold.
That's definitely cold.
You gonna hop in with this fake Ike Turner nigga, man. And
cocaine is a hell of a drug,
man.
Right?
Yeah, that's cold.
Drugs make you do some crazy things.
You left the homies.
I mean? Yeah,
they was out there celebrating.
Right? It was like, oh, come on, Billie. No, there were so many moments they were like working the script, because she's super lovable. Like when you read her biography and all the things, but she did crazy shit too. You know what I mean? So, and she would do stuff that you'd be like, wow, I really can't stand that. But for whatever reason, people still loved her. So it was like
an artist.
Yeah, she really was. And she also, here's the thing about Billie. She was a woman of a different time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we forget that.
Yes.
Like, she was like, her saying was like, I didn't want to be nobody's, I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? She ended up she started working she was raped at 10. And then she started working in a brothel by the age of 11, I think, with her mom. You know what I mean? And so, and she had women too. She ran girls. Like she was a hard woman, and she was from a different time, and she had to survive. And so her saying was like, I didn't want to be nobody's damn maid. So she used to like clean the steps of people's houses and like wealthy white people for like a nickel in Baltimore, or you know what I mean? And so she just like, she dealt with a lot of men who were super abusive. You know what I mean? She was stolen from oftentimes, and you know, she was abused physically, abused sexually, all the things. But it made her hard, and it made her very like, you know, but truthfully, it also made her a fighter and made her who she was, you know. So I feel like people forget, like, to be a Black woman in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, it's
way different.
It's way different. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, she was out there. You should read her biography if you haven't read it. It's funny as hell.
You just
you did an amazing job.
It's just tough to do. It's just because, like you said, to be that one person out of all the people who've come before you, to not nail it.
Oh my God!
Right.
That pressure is.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
that was terrible.
But for Lee to say, let's use that.
Yes, exactly. Right. Use that anxiety.
Use that anxiety.
She was anxious, and that's why a part of it, why she was using drugs too.
Absolutely. Well, and they were planted on her. Yeah. People forget about that all the time. I'm like, she didn't just be like, oh, let me pick it up and da-da. A lot of these drugs were planted on musicians. You know what I mean? This was put like, that's like the drug war was not in the 80s. That started in like the 30s and the 40s. You know what I mean? With jazz musicians, particularly Black jazz musicians. You know, so
and it's still a thing.
It's absolutely
and it's still a thing. It's a, you know, once again, we try to have as many moments on this podcast as possible to be informative.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, for me, I would just, you know, to any young artist that's out there, understand when they're giving you these things, it's to control you.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you're not on your dean at this point. You're not standing on your platform. Absolutely. They're knocking you off of it by telling you, oh, it's just gonna take the edge off, or it's gonna. Now you on lean. Mm-hmm. Now you smoking way too much weed. Now you doing coke. Now you doing whatever.
Or
you know,
the thing
these
is,
pills.
like, you look cooler. It's cooler as an artist for you to do this thing, and that's the vibe, and that's all this stuff. Like, I love that you bring it up too, because I tell, like, you know, like I said, the drug war, to me, when we can go back, like, chattel slavery, right? You know, segregation, right? Jim Crow, Reconstruction, you know, lynching in America. The thing I believe as a community that took us out the most is drugs, because it took our soul and our drive and our motivation. We went through chattel slavery, and we still became landowners and community owners. Like, when people go, oh, Black people, we need to invest in each other's businesses. We have done that over and over and over again. Every time you walk through Central Park, that was a thriving Black community. Every time you go to these major lakes and enjoy the water, those were wealthy, thriving Black communities, right? And so the drugs, I feel like, is the thing that I look back on that I'm like, that's a part of the institution, and that's what took the soul and the drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that we are still gonna thrive and we still get it back, but I agree with you. I definitely feel like the thing that's to control you. Absolutely. I definitely
took the men.
with that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Which was
absolutely.
That's the foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of what we were.
Yeah.
The strong men in our community. It's the fathers.
Yep.
the grandfathers. You know what I mean, and all that being passed down. You started missing generations because they were either strung out or shit in jail.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you did amazing. You got two more movies. You did two more movies, which helped you pass, the 9 years.
Kept her rich.
Kept her rich,
Did you buy anything cool?
Yeah,
this time in this 9 years? Anything?
What's going up there? What's going on?
I started buying property.
Yeah,
It was like just small things. We were filming Lee and I did a movie called The Deliverance. I'm so excited about that. It was like, and this was like, Lee is so amazing. Like, I honestly, he has really just loved and supported me and put me in great positions. So like this cast, like to be able to lead a cast like, of Oscar winners and nominated actors and actresses, it's like my castmates were Glenn Close, Monique, Ingenue Ellis, Kayla McLaughlin, Demi Singleton, Anthony Jenkins. Like it was such an incredible cast of actors. And so when I was in Pittsburgh, I was kind of looking around at the market and I was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it was like there was a lot of new builds. There was a lot. The disparity between housing prices was like pretty drastic because they're building so much. So it was like a lot going on. So I was like, I don't know, let me just like dip in and just see. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's cool to me. Listen, when you think you never going to be able to afford to buy a car and you are able to buy property, I'm like, it's pretty exciting. You feel me?
Give me two of those.
I did buy two.
Top.
This is a long way from the 7-Eleven.
Come on now. A long way from the 7-Eleven. Give me two of those.
Right.
Want me to furnish them? No, I'm going to just hold them until the time, till I want to do what I want.
And a weight machine. It's exciting for me. I don't know.
A weight machine?
I like working out. It was, I don't know. It was only $4,000 from Australia. It was amazing. And I was like, this is great.
So like a universal weight machine?
Yeah, very universal.
With a bunch of different exercises?
Yeah, because I was really proud of myself because I found one for $4,000. All of the ones that I saw that had everything I like working out. So I had the Smith machine, the power rack, the pulley cables with the built-in weights, all of the things that you would get in a gym.
Okay.
I found them for like $25,000 here, but in Australia it was like $4,000. So that's cool. I like that. There we go.
Flex.
So where'd you put the weight machine? Like
it's in my garage. Like I'm from the hood too, nigga. Like everything. Weight bench be outside. Weight machine in the garage.
Right there in the corner.
Weight bench be outside. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly. Right. No, I was like, I put it where every nigga from California puts it. Yeah. That's real. My dad. I grew up with that. I grew up with that, bro. Oh my goodness.
Found one that don't rust. It even rained on and shit.
I grew up with that. My dad would be outside working with his homie who was like my play uncle
California
Anthony.
nigga for sure.
It is a thing. I put it where
bench
everybody
somewhere.
puts it. Yep, always. Mm-hmm.
Remind me of what's the snowfall? Niggas out in the front yard. You buff nigga.
Accurate. That's exactly how you do, right? Yeah.
I got it at my house too. My wife was like, "Where am I gonna park? I don't know."
Put my weight bench go right here.
The weights go here though.
They'll do a weight bench, and then the new thing is the massage chairs that massage your ankles and your back in the garage. You see that too?
The chair, yeah. My uncle tried to get me to buy one for him.
This looks crazy.
Yeah, he sent me an invoice for
of course Mike wants that.
like $3,000. I say, no, sir.
Right, and then they gotta flex on you too. They be like, it massage your ankles and your ankles and your lower back at the same time. You be like,
because my doctor said that now you just okay. The doctor said you need this chair.
Right.
No, sir.
Right. No.
No,
not in the
sir.
garage. It
Go
will
have
not
that
be
surgery.
in the middle of the living room. No. Yeah.
So we're on the 9-year anniversary, and and you're already rock and roll. You're 2 records in, right? Already, right?
This is the second record. Yeah.
No, 2 singles. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, 2 singles in. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 singles in. Yeah.
And then you're dropping the new single.
Friday.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Put the date on it.
You see me have to look at them. I was like, Friday. Yes. No.
And then the album.
It's the 12th. Yeah, we dropped it on the 12th. 12th, right? Yeah, 12th.
Album is May 10th.
May 10th.
Yeah, very excited. It's called Cassandra.
Cassandra.
My given name, yes.
So Cassandra's your first name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Andra's your
Just cut it in half.
Nickname. With a different
twist
on it.
I told you I like the syllable. I like playing with the sound.
With the right.
Yeah, right.
you just cut it in half. You just divide it.
Yeah.
And the date comes from Billie Holiday. That's how I developed the name because I loved it.
No way.
Yeah, so it was like a full circle moment because I'm telling you, like she is really like my biggest inspiration. So I love that her trumpet player would call her Lady Day and she would call him Prez. And so I was like, that's how I cut my name in half and then just put Day instead of Holiday because I just felt like
I'm telling you, a name like is a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a thing.
You figure out a way to like, because that name is like, it's a name.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're not buff, you're not Tank, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're not buff, you're not Tank.
You're right.
You're not.
Oh my God! Imagine
you
the
have-
skinny Tank. That would be
And
crazy.
I didn't pick
I've
Tank.
seen one. I've seen one.
okay.
It's,
That's crazy. All right. Well,
it's
God bless
a
you.
version of Tank
I'm sorry.
that live out in Texas.
Right. Oh,
Eric.
but that's
Oh,
okay.
but
God,
he the skinny Tank.
God bless you, skinny
I've
Tank.
seen a
I'm
few
sorry.
big tanks. You know what I'm saying? For proper wording. I've
could do
seen a
that.
few heavier tanks.
You could
know
do
what
that.
I'm saying?
Right.
But
To really, yeah.
I didn't want to be Tank. I thought I was just going to be Darrell, but it didn't have a ring. It didn't have a certain je ne sais
Niggas
quoi.
on the road
Right.
wasn't rolling with Darrell, man.
Yeah, don't and so my label at the time, Barry Higginson was like, you gonna be Tank. And I was like,
What?
to
Wait,
do-
he just came up
No,
with
no.
it?
So it was my nickname on tour.
Oh, it was. Okay,
So
okay, got
well,
it.
my
yeah.
nickname is a baby. Sorry. Start there. My nickname is a baby. Tank. And then when I got on the road with Genuine,
Oh, okay, it was always. Okay, got it.
I was like, yeah, Darrell, good to meet you. And so the whole time they kept saying D, Darrell. And then Genuine was like, man, you got another name? Because
I don't like it.
like Darrell is cool. I was like, well, my family called me Tank. He's like, you Tank, nigga. I'm calling you Tank
right.
from
You
now on.
Tank.
But think about that though. You can't be hanging around with Genuine and your
Right,
name is
and your
Darrell.
name is Darrell. Oh, that's a good point. He right.
I didn't know.
He right.
I didn't know. I needed that because that was
Wine
Batman.
with a W too,
Right.
though.
Yeah.
Huh?
That was Batman.
Genuine.
And I
But
needed.
if I met you at like a library or a vegan restaurant, you know what I mean? Darrell, it's like, my God, he's
That's
just
where we're
so,
going.
he's different.
Cool.
You're
First
right,
the
but on tour with
curtains.
Genuine, let's go right.
You're not making
That's
it-
not
you're
a
not
curtain.
making it any
That's
better.
not a curtain. That one's a sheet. That one's a
Curtains
sheet. Right?
See where this is going. As I danced throughout the streets of Milan. My stint. Danced for a fortnight.
I love it. Wait, how long did you dance, by the way?
He didn't.
I feel like you did.
I did.
You danced a little bit. What?
I did.
He did not dance.
He just hates to hear about my dancing. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a touch of it at R&B Live. I can't not know what I know. I can't unsee what I
was
saw.
dancing all the way up until
It didn't work.
It didn't work. So I
How
won.
long did it take?
I won my dance contest as a kid, 8th grade, high school. I won those dance contests.
Doing what kind of dance?
I mean, you know, it's Running Man, it's Cabbage Patch, it's all that, and I can flip. So I
okay,
incorporated my
right.
gymnastics into
Was
my
you pop locking too?
a little bit.
I'm so
a little
excited.
bit. I couldn't quite. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't quite turn it all the way over. But
That's all right. You was buff,
I was,
so you had to.
I was,
you know what
I
mean?
was nice with it, and then
He wasn't even buff then.
I was cut. I wasn't buffed. It was different. And then when
Skinny dancing Tank.
when I.
You not feeling it.
You
Bro
can't
not feeling it.
tag team up together to do this.
She hyping you,
on
bro.
my side.
She
so,
hyping you, bro.
So when I shot the first video dancing and it didn't work, to me it made me feel like every element in that video, in that song, I had to go completely away from.
That makes
You were
sense.
smart.
You were traumatized. That's
I was
PTSD.
traumatized
Yeah,
from
that's
dancing.
PTSD.
Sometimes it's called being smart too.
That's true.
I
Wise
was like,
decisions. You're
dancing
right.
killed me.
Do they
It was
still
my
exist?
feet.
Those videos?
Yes.
Those tapes?
I don't think
The
it's
people,
anything anybody
the people
needs.
be watching it. They be talking about it.
There's nothing anybody needs to look. But then I had
Don't get
another
to
outing where I danced again. Not so dancey, but just more classic movements in my You're My Star video. And
And then we almost lost it all. Every time he danced, shit go bad. I keep telling this nigga stop dancing.
The face, and then we
You like
almost
this
lost
life,
it
right?
all.
You like all this cool? You like all this cool shit? Come on now. Come on, 99-2000.
Yeah, I may have to jump. You might have to just, you know what I'm saying?
But that's why I asked you.
Because I don't
if you
want
would-
y'all to lose it
If
all.
you would
know
do,
what I mean? It
I
matters.
want you to do
I
the
I
dance.
will do it.
We
I will
already
jump
ain't got
in
no
there and I
goddamn
will do
curtains.
it.
Shit.
Jesus, it's 3 curtains. It's just one sheet.
I just expected more support.
I'm dancing. I'm
'Cause I've
doing it.
been
I'll do
so
the dancing.
supportive.
I'll do it. Yes.
Cassandra,
Yes.
the new album.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, please go get that.
Yeah.
And I think also just on a serious note before I get to this next segment, I just think you're needed. I think your talent, your gift, your energy, like that's something, and it's a great time for you
Thank you. I appreciate that.
because
Thank
of how things have turned and how they're now needing what we do. Now we're needed.
Right. Yeah, that's real. Yeah.
That-
And it's refreshing that she a thug. This
Listen.
whole time, nigga,
Man, what?
I didn't know.
Hey,
I didn't know.
she one of them ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it just said Southeast.
No.
It's Southeast.
No. Like
Skip no
DC
steps.
Southeast.
DD.
Skip no steps, right?
But you're neat. I think you're just, you're a dope example of what
Thank
I think, what I think young girls should be able to see and aspire to.
Thank you. Wow, I really appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you. That really does.
That is a thing.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is a vibe. Should we bring the lights?
Come to
down?
a special
Trying to get talented.
moment in our pod where we want to get into your mind. You've been inspired by so many of the greats. You've been able to portray one of the greats. But we want to know right now, as we vibe,
We want to know.
top 5.
Yeah.
Your top 5. Top 5.
Hey.
Your top 5 R&B singers.
What else?
R&B songs. We wanna know. We wanna show. God that you're back after 9 years. Your top 5. Yeah. Yeah. Top 5. Your top
Hey.
5.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of my top 5 R&B performances. I love that. Can I say that?
Yes.
Okay.
Andra Day.
Yes.
I always want to say Andra.
You go ahead. Somebody told me, they were like, it sounds more expensive. I'm like, whatever.
When I go into my
Tomato.
when I go into my fortnight. Andra Day, your top 5 R&B singers.
Top 5 R&B. This is so hard. I saw that question. I was like, no. So are we doing the all encompassing? Are we not including
Dead or alive.
jazz?
No, it's your
All of
world.
it, whatever. Okay. I would have to say, okay, there's 2 worlds I live in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to say, okay, I'm going to do 2 top 5s. Can I do that? Because they're like,
Top 10. Your top 10.
okay. So we're going to start with Whitney for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to go to, this is so hard, bro. Okay. Whitney. We're going to go to Aretha.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to also say it's so hard. Okay. We're going to say Michael as well too.
Yeah.
And Sade and Anita Baker.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But okay, so on the flip side, right?
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
On the jazz side?
Right, yeah,
Jazz
it's like a
side,
little the
jazz
jazzier side.
Okay.
We're gonna say Billie Holiday, absolutely. Yes, she's definitely. We're also gonna say Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
For me, it's also Erykah Badu, Jill Scott,
Yeah.
and Lauryn Hill. So those are yeah. That's, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, I kind of had to do like, who do I leave out? You know what I mean?
The only man that made it is Mike. I want to hear that shit.
I
don't
mean,
want to hear nobody shit.
I love. Listen,
No, you ain't got to.
I was actually thinking about going with like, I was like, should I do all women, do all men? Because that's what I'm like, bro, how do I leave out, you know what I'm saying, Luther and Stevie and Beyonce. I love Beyonce.
50.
Like, yeah, I was like, I'm going to have to hit him with the top 20.
89.
Top 89.
Those are two really crazy top 5s.
Mm-hmm. And Jasmine, she's still,
And your extra
absolutely, she'll always
12.
be.
Yeah.
I'm going to say them all.
It's your 5. What are you going to do? Your top 5 R&B songs.
Oof, okay.
5.
Top 5. Oh, no.
Cinco.
Lord, I know. Okay, top 5 R&B songs. I'll just mix them all together. This is missing so many songs. But okay, so I'll say, to be quick, I'll say God Bless the Child, because I love Billie Holiday with this song.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more of a jazz, but Human Nature,
Ugh.
Michael Jackson also, you know what I mean? Jeez, songs, this is so crazy. R&B songs. I love Erica's Bag Lady too. I love Bag Lady by Erica. That's one of my favorites. There's so many though. That's so hard to say. So I'm just gonna. You just already know she's one of my favorites. What'd I say so far?
Bag Lady,
Bag
Human
Lady,
Nature.
God Bless the Child.
God Bless the Child. And Angel Anita Baker.
That's a great one.
And then bro, right now I'm just trying. I feel like you can pick any Sade song. Like right now I'm just trying to like pick which one, but I'm like, how do I leave? Exactly. Like, oh gosh, yeah, we're going with that. I love everything she's done. I love everything she's done. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to just say all Sade. Sorry,
All
I
Sade.
can't pick. I can't.
Oh my God. You gave me the kiss of life.
Hey.
Oh, she's so cold.
She's so amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's like
she's the feels. Like she's
beauty
just the
and the
queen of
simplicity
feels
is
and the
just-
simplicity. Yeah. The space. I feel like she gave us that space and that beauty and that
Give you
settled.
time to just
Yeah.
Early.
She's
early
never
on.
in a rush.
never
Exactly.
in a rush.
That's
Clearly.
the right, clearly. 'Cause, even if we wanted to be, because we don't get no new records. So you know what I mean. Like she's dropping something soon, though. I think I heard or something like that, right? Supposedly, I heard. Don't quote me. I could
It's
be
like
wrong.
when you start naming like
She got the
Anita
detox
Baker and Sade, like it's like they've done some work that it's like, how do you beat that? It's got to be a tough space for those women, those or artists like that to make new music.
It's your fault.
with that music.
But that's
in
your
them.
fault right there. Don't say that.
I'm
We're
just-
never going to get no more music.
No,
You
I'm
keep saying
just
shit
saying
like that.
it's gotta be tough. They made iconic sound bites that are connected to our lives. They're time stamped, like it's like capsulated. Like to go in the studio and say like, okay, how do I do better than? Oh my God.
Do you go in the... Okay, that's the question though. For both of you though. Do you go into the studio thinking better then, or do you just say this is the space of my life that I'm in right now? Because you got to look
I
at
do.
a Ron Isley who got generations
My
of
God.
music, a Charlie Wilson, generations of music. I mean, so that's why
I do that. I just make a music from the place that I am now, and I'm saying, hey, this is my growth.
Yeah.
Here's me now. Here's me new.
Yeah.
But I also, if I'm being honest, just in terms of how I feel, I can't speak on how anybody else feels about me, maybe from a fan standpoint, but I don't feel like I have the pressure of an ordinary love or an angel or I don't feel like I have the pressure of those kinds of moments musically. I feel like I made some great music. I'm not going to
Yes,
down
you do,
myself.
yeah.
But when I think about that music, I pray that my music feels like that to somebody.
to someone.
But in my mind, I haven't reached that.
Yeah.
I still got so much more fucking work to do.
Yeah, same. Exactly, yeah. I think I go in, like you said, same thing. I do go in feeling like I want to make what is true to me in this moment. You know what I mean? But like you said, yeah, candidly, of course. I mean, we do this because like we love it, but we also want people to love it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like as Erica says, we are artists and we're sensitive about our shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like we do want people to love it. So I don't know that it's better necessarily, right? Because also, for me in particular, my last album was such a long time ago. That time in music is a different place too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't really want to make something better for that time. You know what I mean? I just want to make something different, but I do want people to love it. I'd love for them to love it more than the last record. Of course, that'd be great, but I think eventually you do. I don't know if maybe for some people it works. You know, maybe you need to take that pressure off a little bit and just go. You know. Yeah, go and make what it is that you want to make in that moment and because, you know, it may speak to people differently in that season, you know? And so I also think that you just have to accept the fact too, that sometimes you'll just make things that people won't like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some people will like it. Some people won't love it, but you make that and then you make the next thing and hopefully people will love it. Or you make the next thing and they don't, but maybe it's the next 3 things or, you know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
keep going.
Yeah, you just like, I say like, I hate to use the term fail because I don't think it's failing, but like allowing yourself the freedom to quote unquote fail, which is just to really take another step. You know what I'm saying? And realize, okay, cool. Like, 'cause sometimes you make things that nobody likes, but you really, really love it. You know what I'm saying? And that's, so of course, in an ideal world, you love it and everyone loves it. But I feel like sometimes those things are necessary. You know what I mean? And you gotta just, like I said, don't let it cripple you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of how I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Andra, we're gonna make your Voltron.
Oh,
now.
my Voltron. Okay.
It's not make your Voltron.
Okay.
You're a super R&B artist. Who are you gonna get the vocal from? Vocal style. Who are you gonna get the styling from? Who are you gonna get the performance style from? Well, let's switch that. Vocal, performance style, then styling, then the passion of the artist, and then since you're a songwriter, who's gonna write for that artist?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Let's start here. Where are you getting the vocal from?
Where am I getting the
R&B
vocal
artist?
from?
One vocal.
I'm just gonna say Whitney. I'll go Whitney first.
The voice.
Yes, the one. And then what was the next one you said?
Performance style on stage.
Performance style on stage. Ooh. Performance style on stage. I mean, I'm giving that to Beyonce. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I was like, because her name, I'm like, that's on all the categories. I'm just only supposed to say a certain amount of people.
Jesus.
But yeah, no.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think just like the
You going
power,
to
like she
stadiums.
commands. Yeah, absolutely. I think she commands a lot of
Sold
power
out
when she's on stage.
stadiums
Yeah.
around the world. She started this tour with 2 or 3 piano ballads.
That's crazy, yeah. Yes, yeah, you're right.
Stadium.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit right here
I will tell you,
and sing these songs.
I went, and that's why I'm like, to me, there's no debate. This is not a debate. It's not a question. You know what I mean? I'm like, you're either probably a hater or not. But I'm like, the talent and the work ethic all exist in this person. You know what I'm saying? The vision all exists in this person. Like, I went to go see her the first time I was able to see her live. I was on tour with Chloe and Halle, and so, you know, they let me come out and go see her live. And it was funny because the show was amazing. It was big. The production, everything was incredible. She was amazing. She was giving, dancing, singing, all the things. You know what I'm saying? And then she just sat on a stool with nothing around her, nothing, whatever, just giving vocals. And like, my guitar player is definitely like one of those, you know how they could be jazz musicians, snobby from Berkeley. And I'm like, I know all of the deep, you know, blah, blah, blah. He just jaw dropped. You know what I mean? It was just like, bro, the vocals are as hard as the performance, are as hard as the visuals, are as hard as like, I was just listening to her sing is so incredible. That voice is so tuned and healthy. Like, you know, when you hear a healthy voice, you're like, Lord,
Yeah.
I know she
and
drink
healthy?
tea. I know she drink tea. I know she cover her voice up. I know she don't laugh like I do. Because I'm like,
How'd she
no way.
laugh?
It has to be. And I'm going to work on it too. I'm going to start laughing cute. You know what I mean? From now on.
I'm gonna start laughing
I'm like,
cute.
just, you know, you don't open your mouth. You just,
Yeah, we don't laugh cute on here.
Because I
We be on this motherfucker.
I wish I could control it because a lot of my talking and laughing contributes to the demise of my voice.
People always be like, "Oh, stop singing." I'm like, singing is good. Singing is exercising for your voice.
It's
It's
all
the
the extra
talking and the
shit.
laughing. Like,
yeah.
yes.
I gotta get my mic.
But shit just be funny, bro. Like, I'm like, I have to
be
laugh.
funny,
Like,
bro.
I'm sorry. Like,
All right, the styling of the artist.
styling of the artist.
Yes.
Like vocal
The
styling
drip.
or just styling?
The drip.
Oh, the drip. Who am I gonna? I'm gonna give that to Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely Erica.
Cheeked
You
up.
already know, right?
On a Tuesday.
Okay, all right. You're right. He right because I want that too. Because I want that too. Like
Double cheeked up on a
cheeked
Tuesday.
up, yeah, definitely. My Voltron
Come
is
on,
definitely
dog.
cheeked up for sure. So it got to be Erica.
At some point they gonna cancel
Yeah.
me. It's
Right?
whatever. It's whatever.
No, I love her and styling all the way.
I'm
Vocal
saving my money.
styling, musical styling.
Saving my money.
As long as he doesn't dance, apparently you're good. Okay. I didn't mean it. It was just for the moment. I was jumping in on a joke. I'm so sorry.
Listen, you can come co-host whenever you want. From now on, you my partner.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Yes.
The passion of the artist.
The passion of the
heart
artist.
of the artist.
The heart of the artist.
Who mean it?
I'm going with Billie on that. Yeah, I'm going with Billie on that for sure. That's all feeling. That's all feeling.
Shit.
Yeah,
That's it.
absolutely. Yeah, that's where I learned it from. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Mm.
And then who's writing for this artist?
Mm.
Who writes for this crazy artist?
Who
you just
is
built?
writing? Ooh, that's a great question. Okay, who's writing? Who did I say was in the Voltron again? Whitney,
Whitney,
B,
Beyonce, Erica, Billie.
Billie Holiday.
Sade for writing. Then, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Ooh, I want to. I want that artist.
You,
Yeah.
I want that artist.
We all want that
Man,
artist.
no, all the same.
Yes.
Ooh, Shotty on the right. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so
Right.
much.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Je ne sais quoi. You know what
Oh.
I'm saying? Yeah, you can't just be like vibe for Sade. Like it's
It's bigger
expensive.
than vibe. Like
yeah,
it's,
100%.
that's-
Yeah.
that word is an understatement.
Did you
Yeah.
learn that at Theater Noir? We just figured this.
Let me tell you something. I don't.
Theater noir.
That was just a nigga down
Right.
San Diego.
I had a homegirl in school named Je ne sais quoi. So right.
Je ne sais quoi. Hey man. Stop this.
Come on, man. Where you going? Where you going with it? Yeah. Come on, go down southeast. Yeah, give us some of that.
I ain't saying no names.
Hey.
I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. Where you was? Who you with?
Hey.
What you did?
Come on.
Don't say shit. I ain't saying no names.
The roll off is the greatest part.
The
bro.
roll off,
It's
right,
the
right?
greatest part. Okay, so we had a very, very, very important part of the show. Very
Okay.
important
Importante.
segment. It's called I Ain't Saying No Names.
Okay. All
You
right.
tell us a story, funny or fucked up, or funny and fucked up. The only rule to the game is you can't say no name.
None.
Okay.
And listen, you've been on tours and
Oh.
movie sets,
Oh.
whole bunch of cool shit.
So much cool in champagne. So much.
Yeah.
You know when you have all these stories and then you get in like in the lights and in the
And you
camera
can't
and you be
remember
like,
that out. Yeah, yeah.
my God, yesterday I went to Trader Joe's. And you be like, hey, wait a minute. Okay, let's see. I do have a funny story, but bro, I don't know if I can even tell this story without y'all knowing exactly who it is.
You just can't say the names.
Okay.
You just can't say the name.
Let me see.
You know that's the story we want now.
Right.
That's the one we want.
Let's see. What's the one? What's the one? Which one you thinking of? Which one?
She just.
Yep. Okay, so all right. Y'all gonna know, but whatever it is, what it is. Sarate. So I just remember like, you meet people sometimes and you meet some people that you're like, you can tell from their artist persona, you can tell from everything, you're like, that is a huge personality, super duper ego probably, you know what I'm saying? All the things and then sometimes you meet people that you would think that and they're really sweet, they're cool, whatever. So I think there was one artist, entertainer, mogul. There was one person. No. There was one person one time. We were doing Essence Fest. Were you there? Was this the one? Which Essence was it?
Don't say no names. I don't know. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there.
Anyway, right? I wasn't there. No. So no, I just remember there was one time we were in our dressing room, and it was myself and a bunch of other artists. You know what I'm saying? That were there. It was like, and I remember we were just kind of. Everybody was in their dressing room. It was like a common room, and then everybody was in their respective dressing rooms. You know what I mean? And this artist like kind of came in. They sent their team in, or their security team in. You know what I mean? And they were like, this honestly is more funny than anything, but so they sent their security team, and there was a common room. Each person had their dressing room. This person had their dressing room too, and then we had a common room, and they were nice. Dressing rooms was nice. So everybody was in their dressing room, and they sent their team in and to go like kick everybody out of their like respective dressing rooms. So it was like common area can't be used, and it was like, and anybody, and these are other artists, like people that you know what I mean? And so they go in and they're just like, all right, this person wants to come in, so everybody has to get out. Everybody has to, you know what I mean, whatever, all that stuff. So, you know.
Out of the common room?
No, out of their
own
individual
dressing
rooms.
room.
Yeah,
The
so
whole space.
we saw them kicking everybody out of the common room, and we were like, all right, cool. And then they came in and started kicking everybody out of their individual rooms. And so I was like, my God, you know what I mean? I don't, you know. So most people, including my team, were like, we're not going to leave unless we feel like somebody official, you know what I mean, is telling us this, you know, like. And so everybody kind of stayed in their dressing room. And then, so the person finally came into the common area, and no one had left their dressing rooms. And they were like, all right, everybody, we're going to pray. And I was like, oh my God, look at me. I had underestimated this person. They want to pray. My bad, Jesus. Let's go ahead and do it. I judged them. That was totally wrong. Blah, 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 blah. So we all come out of our common dressing rooms, and we all get in this massive circle, and we start praying. Well, we all bowed our heads to start praying. And so he's like, bow my head, close my eyes. I did the thing. You know what I mean?
Were you still kind of looking, but you're not?
No, not yet. Not at this point. We're not there yet at that part of the story. So my head's bowed, and then all of a sudden I hear, I woke up this morning, and I was me, and I was like, so I was like, and it was a whole thing, and I was like, by the time we were done, I thought to myself, I was like, did they make me pray to them? God damn it! Right? I was like, look at not because damn. Now I'm gonna have to repent and be like, God, my bad. I didn't mean to pray to somebody else.
I didn't even know where it was
I was like,
Lord.
my bad, God. I didn't know, God. I didn't know He was gonna do that. You know what I mean? So I had to go and be like, yeah, not me at the end of the prayer talking about in Jesus' name. Okay, all right, thank you. Like, no, so that was a really interesting story. That was probably my first experience with like something that was that random and that bizarre, but still funny and entertaining. Like, I don't know. I like a good charismatic person. So.
I'm gonna need y'all to pray to me.
Yeah, I was like,
I woke up.
Me,
I was
I was
tricked.
me.
I was tricked. I ain't realizing until we said amen. I was like, to who?
Lord,
Amen to who?
Lord, bless these people holding my hand.
No. You did it wrong. It's me bless these people holding
Lord,
my hand.
bless me to bless.
these
No,
people.
Lord.
Okay.
Just me bless me.
I'm going to bless these people holding my hand.
Wow.
I know the way.
And
Because I am the
way.
truth
And I am the way.
and the light.
Oh my God. My whole team was cracking up. We
I
were all
am.
kind of like, where was
I am.
right? There you go. Yeah. It was like that.
Watch me work. Watch me nay. Watch me whip.
Whip. 2 whips.
Whip. Watch me nay.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
This is crazy.
I was like, oh wow.
I'm
This is the other
I'm
side.
just going down my mental Rolodex of, a couple people that I know are capable of that. Anyway, Andra Day, you are really, really awesome.
Thank you
Really,
so
really
much.
dope.
Likewise.
Thank
I
you.
love this podcast. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
just
you.
to just all the inside and out. You know what
Thank
I mean?
you. I
And I think
appreciate
that,
that.
we need more of that. And I pray.
To yourself or to
Up here.
Lord.
okay.
I pray that you are blessed to go in as many spaces as possible to be as infectious as you are.
Thank you, family. I really appreciate that.
Your thing is just that it just becomes contagious and everybody can be more like you.
Thank you so much. And I pray the
love
same for y'all. Well, you've already done it. You already doing it. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
still
So, yeah.
still more work to do.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
definitely.
So,
thank you so much.
This is home for you.
Yeah. y'all
Whatever,
literally-
whenever,
yeah,
whatever
exactly.
you want to do.
I love
anytime.
I love the aesthetic
Yeah.
specifically.
Get out of there.
It's
Don't
not
look
gonna
over
stop
there.
with her. This is not going.
Either get out of there or he's going to kick you out. One or the other. You got two choices.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority
Yeah.
on all things R&B. And this has been light. This has been love.
Yes.
This has been family, man.
Yeah.
The most beautiful, the most talented Andra Day in the building.
Yeah.